bodacious Becki.
I confess, I feel guilty that while others were struggling during the COVID lockdown, I was thriving. I traded in my DC commute for free time, and I loved it. But over time, the loneliness and the isolation started to take an effect, and by May of 2023, when the pandemic was officially over, a deep blue funk had settled over me and I felt stuck. That summer, my nephew came to visit me, and one of the things that he liked to do is go to a field near the house and kick a soccer ball around. And I would go down with him, and I was really struck at how I felt when I kicked that soccer ball. I felt powerful and in control and alive. But then he left, and the blue funk settled in deeper than ever, and one day I realized that I could just stay in that funk, or I could get up and do something about it. And so I thought about how it felt kicking that soccer ball, and I searched for women's soccer leagues near me. I quickly found a women's 40 and over soccer league at the local county recreation center, and I signed up as a free agent. I was really honest in my application. I'm overweight, out of shape, I'm a terrible runner, and I haven't played soccer since the 6th grade. As soon as I hit submit, I regretted it. But I took comfort in the knowledge that no self-respecting team captain would pick me to be on their soccer team. Not unlike the 6th grade, if I'm honest. So imagine my surprise a few weeks later when I got an email that one of the teams was looking for a goalie. Well, goalie seems doable, but I couldn't overcome my fear, so I replied to the email with all the things I said on my application. And the team captain wrote me back and said, "Becki, you're in exactly the right place. The first game is Wednesday at 7. Bring your cleats, shin guards, and goalie gloves if you have them." So I found some low-cost soccer gear on Amazon, and I headed to the first game. I was terrified. There was no way I was not going to make a fool of myself, but I knew that the only alternative was to stay stuck in that malaise. So I swallowed my fear and I showed up. I met some of the other players on the green field with bugs buzzing under the fluorescent lights, refs in their yellow jerseys ready to blow the whistle and kick off, and I headed out to the goal box and got ready to play. The ball started moving around the field, and eventually a ball came towards me and sailed towards the corner of the goal box. And in my mind, I saw myself diving to stop the ball. But my brain said, "Absolutely not. You're going to get hurt." So I didn't. But a few minutes later, the ball came flying at my chest, and I instinctively reached up and caught it to the cheers of my teammates. And I thought, gosh, maybe I can do this. But then the rules of soccer started to happen. A goal kick, apparently that's my job. A corner kick, turns out, not my job. I'm not supposed to use my hands, except sometimes as the goalie when you can. And then there's offsides, which is a rule nobody can explain to anybody else. But I did my best, and at the end of the game, all my teammates were very positive and encouraging, and I thought maybe this is going to work out. In the next game, I played forward, and this is where my running skills and my endurance started to be a bit of an issue. Partway through the game, Katie, one of the best players on the team, yelled, "Becki, help her!" and pointed to a player on the other side of the field. So I ran over, ready to help in any way that I could. But by the time I got there, she had kicked the ball down the sideline to another player, and I didn't really know what happened, so I just kept playing. Until halftime, when Katie came over to me and she said, "Becki, are you having fun?" "Yeah?" "Good. Because when I said help her, I meant get in a position to receive a pass." "Okay," I said. And I went back out on the field. I felt like an idiot. And I was trying not to cry. What the hell was I only thing more embarrassing than what had just happened. And so instead, I thought about everything I had accomplished in my life. I've flown a Navy helicopter in enemy airspace, for God's sake. I can do this.
Yes.
So I pulled on my big girl pants, and I got ready to run when the ball was back in play. I missed the next game for a family vacation, and I talked to my sister-in-law, who's a lifelong soccer player. And she taught me more about the rules, she taught me some of the lingo that I didn't understand. She even taught me some strategy about how to move the ball down the field. And she gave me a healthy dose of encouragement. So I went back with a strong sense of determination, and the rest of the season went okay. I received some passes, I made some passes, I was aggressive, I went after the ball, and I even stole the ball once or twice.
Nice.
So by the time we got to the final game of the season, I was really proud of myself for sticking with it. I had only missed 2 games. They happened to be the 2 games we won. The first half of the game, the opposing team scored a goal in the first 20 minutes. 10 minutes later, Katie scored a goal. We went into the second half tied up. And not much happened until the last 5 minutes of the game, when Katie got the ball, and she was barreling down the field towards me. She made eye contact with me. "Go, Becki, go!" she yelled. And I knew that she and I had the same vision. She was going to pass the ball to me. I was going to take it down the field and score the winning goal. She was cheering me on. And so I intercepted the ball. And as my foot deflected the ball into the path of a player from the opposing team, and Katie looked at me in horror, I knew I had miscalculated. She yelled, "I meant get out of my way!" As the opposing team took the ball down the field and scored the winning goal. After the game, all the women on the team were tired and joyful and satisfied. And that's when I realized that they were there for the camaraderie and the love of the game, except maybe Katie. And that's also when I realized that it's not our struggles and our failures that are important, it's our willingness to take risks and get back in the game. Because on the field, as in life, it's only a few minutes before the ball is back in play. So that's the end of my brief adult soccer career. For now, I found something more in line with my strengths, the storytelling workshop. But if anybody in the audience is in the market for some gently used soccer gear, then find me after the show.